Namaskar. In this video I will discuss about Phase 9. Property and release. Acknowledge belongings for what it is. It is primarily written off as mental illness or individuality problem. Yet this dark condition is a fairly typical component of the human problem. It always has been. An individual can be controlled or possessed by a non-physical character or by an additional living individual. The term property carries a lot of ugly luggage and is badly comprehended. It triggers pictures of red-eyed crackpots running amok, but ownership itself does not indicate insanity or failure of control. Possessed individuals are generally not crazy, as well as they act usually the majority of the moment. Having entities can be ex-human ghosts, hereditary attachments, or non-human negative entities. Possessing non-physical characters can also include favorable spirits, even angels, but these are past the focus of this course. Property is just the system of control. There are several levels of this control, varying from influence to fixation to full control and individuality substitute. Usually possession involves the progressive execution of negative entities regulates over an amount of time. The majority of people have natural resistance and shielding against this execution. Negative entities are drawn into psychically and also psychologically delicate individuals with inadequate or broken protecting. Negative entities have to conquer natural defenses in order to execute accessories and controls. The size of time this takes relies on the stamina as well as experience of the negative entities as well as the staminas as well as weaknesses of the individual included. Irregular negative entities can take months or years to establish considerable degrees of control. More powerful as well as extra knowledgeable negative entities can have individuals even more swiftly. Negative entities' effects will certainly vary, as well as their symptoms will seem like the darker side of an individuality. These symptoms are usually identified as bad moods or character conditions, which are precise enough summaries. Individuality adjustments that take place while somebody is intoxicated of alcohol or drugs are also consisted of right here. Possessing negative entities are usually at the origin of dependencies. Negative entities might apply impacts just at particular times, only in particular situations, or continuously. Possessing negative entities will certainly commonly trigger clinical depression, stress and anxiety, as well as character problems. These problems may be inherent to the nature of the negative entity's worried or adverse effects of its existence. Problems will aggravate if negative entities are endangered or if they do not get what they desire. Typically, having negative entities will not generally take complete control of individuals. Full control by negative entities does take place, yet it is unusual. A lot of possessing negative entities are content to sit back as well as take pleasure in the human ride, to share human lives and satisfaction, and to put in large impacts. Possessing negative entities normally cannot operate alone in human society. They require human minds as well as memories to take care of all the little details of life, such as traveling, job, interacting socially, relationships, and also hygiene. It prevails for people to end up being eclipsed and react strongly when the status of their possessing negative entities end up being threatened. These reactions generally happen when the negative entities are confronted with some kind of exorcism or demanifestation. When negative entities are threatened with exorcism, the scenario can become unpredictable and dangerous. Usually, having negative entities will proactively conceal their existence. Consequently, Most possessed people are not even aware they are being regulated. If victims suspected they were under negative entities' control, they would actively look for outdoors help that can impede or remove having negative entities. This help includes medical and also mental support, along with exorcism. If having negative entities are interacted with, usually a network of lies, half-truths, and misdirections will certainly emerge. A possessing negative entities will attempt to deflect questions and acquire compassion by occurring as a lost earthbound spirit, usually a kid. Additionally, it may emerge as something ominous in order to induce concern. Specifically, what it states will depend upon the scenario and on its nature and also intents. Negative entities have people by infiltrating their chakras and also independent nerve systems. The independent nervous system controls points like heartbeat, cell repair work, digestion, and breathing. Breathing is an excellent contrast for exactly how the system of belongings works. Breathing is largely automatic, controlled by the autonomous nerves and unconscious mind. However, you can likewise take direct control over your breathing whenever you intend to, holding your breath, panting, or breathing differently. Attempt this now. Take mindful control and also feel yourself breathing, taking much deeper breaths, and blowing out. You will discover that you really feel no variance, whether you take control of your breathing or leave it on automatic. If you take control, a few seconds later on, your negative entities elect to remain in control, and your breathing stabs in the back automated. My factor right here is that you are not aware of any type of modification, whether you have mindful control or otherwise. Ownership works in significantly the same way. A negative entity's personality may similarly move in as well as out of an individual without its host, the head person understanding it. Being negative entities influenced or overshadowed is similar to just how you may sometimes plunder the fridge as well as eat things that you have previously determined not to eat. You might, for example, eat a great deal of ice cream or delicious chocolate, even though you are on a diet plan. When this happens, it is like half your brain has changed itself off, and someone else has actually temporarily taken control. You understand you must not be consuming by doing this, but you do it anyhow. After that, later on, you are kicking on your own for damaging your diet. Normally, when a possessing negative entities connects to a person, it will begin the procedure of learning how to operate the individual's body, how to relocate arms and legs, how to walk as well as speak. There will certainly be recurring losses of control of body parts during this process, as body components do points by themselves outside the person's mindful control. There will additionally be blackouts where individuals do not remember what took place for certain sizes of time. Occurrences of loss of body control and also blackouts will certainly end up being progressively a lot more regular. At some point, the negative entities will certainly become efficient in restraining the initial individuality and taking complete control. If this happens, the individual then ends up being a powerless onlooker, without control throughout a full possession episodes. When a possessing negative entities gets into an individual, there will certainly be an incident where the main accessory is put. This event will certainly typically involve some sort of terrible negative entities attack, which can consist of scary nocturnal atmospheres, sleep fears, problems, superordinary phenomena, and compulsive thoughts, and also advices. Throughout this occasion, one location of the body will certainly be especially influenced with discomfort and or swelling. Over the following couple of days or weeks, this location will become a granuloma, a grisly swelling. This granuloma can be under the skin and visible, or deeper inside the body and unnoticeable. If it is inside the body, it might trigger a slip disc, a hernia, or an infection. A noticeable granuloma lump is the classic stigmata diabolis, the physical proof sought by Inquisition, which hunters to finger individuals as witches, and see Phase 6. In one case I observed, a boy approached an older co-worker throughout a fierce altercation. The disgraced older guy was already had, so a vengeance assault followed on the younger male. In the coming weeks, the young man experienced all the signs of negative entities attack, as well as a granuloma the dimension of a walnut appeared on his leg. This was a timeless stigmata diabolis. We damaged the ownership utilizing the methods given up this course, consisting of electrical grounding, crossing running water, attracting blue ballpoint pen symbols on the granuloma, energy work, salt bathrooms, as well as recovery. The granuloma ruptured at the specific moment of release. This was a reasonably simple instance, since the strike was fresh, and also there was no strong degree of approval entailed. More reputable instances take more effort and time to achieve release. Negative entities that have actually been with grown-ups given that early youth can be even more hard to move, sometimes impossible. I have dealt with lots of people enduring this dark condition. There are many types of negative entities as well as lots of means this problem can proceed. My very own experience with belongings and release is a rather dramatic example.